Hi, Bobby. Thank you so much for your cameo request and for your really thoughtful and interesting questions. So, I don't know if you saw my TikTok recently, but I definitely went on a little bit of a rant. I'm very pro superhero movie and think that there's a lot of great content and great stories to be told through the superhero comic book adaptation subgenre. So I love your questions. I am a fan of Spider-Man, and one of the things that I thought was so fun about Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man is it was just so clear to me how passionate he was about the character and how, that character was a legitimate and true inspiration for him for clearly throughout most of his childhood. And Emma Stone, they had such lovely chemistry. And I thought it was a really, really smart choice to have her play Gwen Stacy versus Mary Jane, certainly because the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, I think, were so popular. I love the two of them together. I think Emma has a really grounded quality about her that makes her perfect for a superhero movie because she is so grounded in reality, and that's always fun to watch. Plus, they were a real life couple, so their chemistry was really good. I did see Kick-Ass. Matthew Vaughn, the director, is one of my favorite directors. I think he's such a cool, interesting director, as we've seen with the Kingsman movies and, of course, X-Men Days of Future Past. Of course, I also love Stardust, which is not as violent and superhero based as the other ones, but so I loved Kick-Ass. I thought Chloe was such an incredible choice to play Hit Girl. I also love Nicolas Cage in that role. It's been long known his love for superheroes, and so I loved the spin that he put on Big Daddy. And I heard a story that, he kind of didn't tell anybody that he was going to do sort of a Adam West inspired as Batman from the 1960s voice. And so he just kind of showed up on set and started doing that, which I thought was so cool. And just, again, he's such a fan and such a nerd about this stuff that I think it really comes through in the performance. Also kind of similar to what we were saying about Andrew Garfield. But Chloe, that's the thing about that part is that that is not a part that just anyone could play. And I think she was such an incredible find, and she was perfect casting. But I will say also, I haven't read... I'm going to sneeze. Sorry, Bobby. I haven't read the comics. So I don't know, based on, the actual source material, if she was the perfect Hit Girl, but I do know from what I saw in the movie that it takes a very special young actor to play that kind of part, and she did it beautifully. Last but not least, I do miss the Arrowverse. I was talking about the Arrowverse with somebody recently. They were asking me, when is anybody going to do, they were saying, when is somebody going to do the Red Tornado, Superman waking up in Russia? Like, when are they? And I was like, I am pretty sure that Supergirl did that, the Melissa Benoist Supergirl series. So what I loved about the Arrowverse was the way that they were able to, when you make a big superhero movie, you can only you have to be really calculated and careful about the stories that you're telling, because there's so many hundreds of millions of dollars going into these things. And on top of that, you have to be really careful because you know how long it takes to make a feature, and you know how long it takes in post, and you know that it's going to take a long time to come out. So I say all that to say that one of the things that I loved so much about the Arrowverse was that they were able to dip their toes in all different parts of the DCU, and pulling different characters and different storylines and different threads that maybe aren't like economically feasible to do as a standalone movie, so they were able to do them on the show. Anyway, thank you for bearing with me as I hiccuped and sneezed. Sorry about that. But I loved all these questions, and thank you again for reaching out and for your support here on Cameo. I hope this answers your questions, and to see you around here on Cameo soon. Take care.